So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to solve for one of the variables, and usually the easier variable to solve for is the one that has a coefficient equal to 1, and in this case z has a coefficient of 1, so that's the equation and variable we will focus on solving for. Okay, so again, first thing is you solve for one of the variables, and this is going through substitution. In this case, we are going to take equation 2 and solve that for z. So that's going to give us, again, we're taking 2x plus 4y plus z is equal to 16. So the z will be equal to, if I move the 2x, the 4y over, I will have negative 2x minus 4y plus 16 as what our z is equal to. Okay? Now, once we get our z equal to we are then going to go and plug this in to both equations. So the second step is that we sub into both of the other equations. So in this case, that's going to be equation 1 and equation 3. We're going to sub in. So if I take equation 1, I have 3x minus 4y plus 2z is equal to negative 15, and I would get 3x minus 4y plus 2 times z, negative 2x minus 4y plus 16 is equal to negative 15. Okay, now once I sub in, I simplify as much as I can, so I would have 3x minus 4y, and of course I'm going to need to distribute this 2 to all three of those terms. So it will be a negative 4x minus 8y plus 32 is equal to negative 15. And then combine like terms. So you'll notice you have a 3x and a negative 4x, so that gives us negative x. And then we also have negative 4y, negative 8y to get negative 12y. And then plus, and here you see that you have a 32 and then equals negative 15. Okay? All right, so that is kind of as simplified as it's going to get for now. And then we're going to take and sub into equation 3 the other z equals. Okay, so into equation 3 you get 2x plus 3y plus 5z is equal to 20. And we're going to sub in this z expression. So you'll have 2x plus 3y plus 5 times negative 2x minus 4y plus 16 is equal to 20. All right, so you are going to have to distribute some here. So what you're going to have is you're going to have 2x plus 3y minus 10x, and then distributing this to all three terms, minus 20y plus 80 is equal to 20. And then combine like terms, so the 2x and the negative 10x gives you a negative 8x. The 3y and the minus 20y gives you a negative 17y, and then plus 80 is equal to 20. Okay, now here is where you have subbed into both of them, and now you really have a linear system of two equations and two unknowns. So you have kind of an option, like you could continue with substitution, or you could go through an elimination process. But what I would do here is, if you continue a substitution, you're going to take those two equations that you have and solve for one of the variables. And before you go about this, when you look at the negative x equation and you look at the negative 8x equation, the one that's going to be easier to solve for is the negative x, because you are so close to having a 1 as your coefficient. So what you would do is you would take these two, so your negative x minus 12y plus 32 is equal to negative 15, and your negative x minus 17y plus 80 is equal to 20. And you would solve for one of those variables. So I would maybe take this first equation here, and if I take that first equation and solve for x, so solve for x, what you would have is you would have negative x equals, and then this 12y would go over, so it would become a positive 12y, and then the minus 32 from both sides would give you a minus 47. and then divide all three terms by -1. So that would give you x is equal to -12y plus 47. Now, with that x is equal to something, you would then plug that into the other equation. So really you're doing substitution. So you have -8x minus 17y plus 80 is equal to 20. And then you would just plug in that your x is equal to -12y plus 47. Okay, so we're really just doing substitution for the two unknowns and two variables. So then we could distribute, and you would get 96y, and then the 47 times 8 would give you -376 minus 17y plus 80 is equal to 20. And then the 96y minus the 17y would give you 79y, and then the -376 plus 80 gives you -296 equals 20. And then you could add 296 to both sides and get 79y is equal to 316, and then divide both sides by 79. And that's going to give you y is equal to 4. And then you could back solve from there. Your y is equal to 4 would get plugged into the x equation. So you'd have -12, y is equal to 4 plus 47. So that would give you -48 plus 47. So that gives you -1 for x. And then from there, you have to still find z. And so z was way back up here. Z was equal to this. So you'd plug in, remember we have x is equal to -1, y is equal to 4. So plug in x is equal to -1, y is equal to 4, and that gives you 2, because you would have a -16 plus 16. So you would get z is equal to 2. So you have -1, 4, and 2 as your final answer, your ordered pair for that solution. Now, after 7 minutes of that, the thing is there has to be an easier way. And in the next section, you're going to see the easier way, and the easier way is going to involve matrices.